Fish in the desert? But he might not even have you in his heart. The catfish is like your friend, totally unreliable. Born a permanent singleton. Destined to grow old alone, the brave soul. We call him the lonely warrior. No need to tag your unreliable friend. Even if they come across this, they'll probably tag you first. Right. Maybe you're rushing somewhere to go on a blind date. But not in his case. He's already prepped himself with a fancy knife. Sprinkled some cumin and barbecue seasoning. And he's off to meet his end. If you ask me why he's so bent on this, as a professional science communicator, I'll tell you I don't know either. But I think, maybe, perhaps, probably, it's because after all these years of being single, he's wondering, what's the point of still being alive? Right. Because he's lived in the desert for so long. That's why we call him the Desert Warrior. If you find Desert Warrior too hard to remember, you can just call him by his nickname. Brazilian Maranhão Thousand-Lake Desert Shoreline Chest-Protecting Catfish. Yeah, that's the one. The Brazilian Maranhão Thousand-Lake Desert. Cold and fierce with those eyes. He lives in a small, humble spot. Just 1,500 square kilometers of desert. The annual rainfall here can reach 1,600 millimeters. That's 300 times more than the Sahara. Yep, during the rainy season. The lakes are all interconnected. Because it's close to the Atlantic. Some adventurous little fish often end up here. But when the dry season hits, the lakes dry up, and the fish have to get creative to survive. Now, let's focus on our main character. The Brazilian Maranhão Thousand-Lake Desert Shoreline Catfish. He just crawled out of a defunct bathhouse. Though he's tough and weathered, able to withstand the harsh desert. From my extensive research, I've discovered that 70 degrees Celsius deserts are often hotter than 50 degrees Celsius deserts. Yep. To avoid getting turned into a grilled fish, the Brazilian Maranhão Thousand-Lake Desert Catfish has no choice but to summon all his strength and march on through the desert, sniffing for water, until he finally finds you. Good thing I didn't give up. After all that persistence, he finally found the Ghost King. As expected, where there's a will, there's a way. If there are fish in the desert, it's not surprising to find fishermen too. At first, you thought you had a bright future. But it turns out you were just being completely clueless. Life isn't just about surviving the daily grind. There's also the grill and the side dishes. Right, so after all this, did you at least get jealous of the guy's name?